scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it. Say I won't. And
When I was 6, I remember staring at framed posters of Black Jesus on my grandmother's walls, wondering why he had dreadlocks, muscles, and a six-pack. I remember praying that he would send me a complimentary daddy, just like Cliff Huxtable. But instead he kept me from Bill Cosby's. When I was 10 years old, my mirrors were identified by images of Malcolm X and Dr. King, when summers were sweet with murder like red Kool-Aid, and only corner stores dared to hug Cleveland Avenue. Cleveland Avenue was littered with Farrakhan's selling final calls and pound cakes, black men in bow ties and suits, trying to convince baby girls like me that somewhere down the line, Queen Nefertiti was in my lineage and that I deserved some major reparations from the white man. At 16 years old, you could catch me in a weave or a fro, depending on what time of the month it was. At 17, somehow they convinced us that we ought to thank God for Planned Parenthood, just in case Daquan was the father. At 19, they try to convince us that we ought to thank God for our diversity and inclusion departments that wipe the sweat off the brows of our predominantly white universities. How we went in debt for a piece of paper that don't pay the bills. They said you ought to thank God for food stamps. Thank God for fried chicken. Thank God for red Kool-Aid. Thank God for hip-hop music and world star hip-hop and Mr. Pop-Off for the $500 healing cloth that never quite healed your grandma's broken hip bone, but at least she could still fry up some neck bones. And at least I was pretty for a dark-skinned girl at age 20 with nappy, shoulder-length hair, narrow nose, no hips, college dropout with a sticker on my back that read, "This is Black Girl Cinema." This is for my black girls who grew up quoting Assata Shakur, Angela Davis, believing the lie that Christianity was a white man's religion and that you could save yourself through your own energy, black. This is for the black girls who don't identify with black culture because they didn't grow up in an African-American neighborhood and they believe that white supremacy is an illusion and that God is a myth. This is for my mama, I swear to God. I wish you would try me. I'ma be at church Easter Sunday though, food stamp for the low. Baby daddy better have my money quick on it go. Black. This is for the black woman in reform circles who are scared to fight against social justice because it'll ruin their reputation with white evangelical men. Black women, black girls, somehow we became a mirage of personalities and wandering souls plastered on these bastard TV screens as the world applauded our brokenness. I know they watching our brokenness. I know you watching this brokenness. Over the years, we may have become jigaboos and wannabes, but something tells me deep down inside, our souls are still being raped by our masters and we still burying their babies in the pit of our subconscious. Something tells me we still searching for a home, still searching for a place to call out free, still pleading to God for a savior, still praying on our knees hoping that he will save us. Something tells me that we ain't been saved. Something tells me that we've been lost in our minds and in our hearts, and deep down inside we don't really know who God is. Something tells me that we lost. So when they ask me at age 22, Jamaica West, how does it feel to be a young black woman in America? I tell them it feels like being murdered in a jail cell. I tell them it feels like lies that don't make a noose around my neck. I tell them it feels like my spine became a broken ladder. I tell them it feels like my womb will weep a poem for my unborn sons who will be slain on the streets. I tell them it feels like this poem, empty.
the symptom is social injustice, but the sickness is sin. So if it is sin that is the sickness, then we as Christians need to understand that the true enemy is the ventriloquist and not the dummy.
So we know that you guys enjoy the content that we produce. We enjoy giving it to you. If you want to be a part of that process, if you want to be a part of allowing us to continue to give you that content with a bunch of ideas that we have, there's ideas upon ideas that we have ready to go, ready to produce. If you want to be a part of making that happen, become a patron.